No lukewarm wives on this journey, okay? I need you to know that we are going all the way. So you either all the way with me or you're not, okay? You either all the way with me or you're not. You either trusting me this time around or you're not, all right? So, question. Based off of last year's experience on your stand, how do you want to proceed, wife? Okay, based off of last year's experience and everything that you went through and all the ups and downs and all the rolling and all the pain and different things that you experienced based off of last year experience, God is asking the question, how do you want to proceed forward? Okay, because this is something that you need to make a decision with at the door. And we just talking about your marriage now. We just talking about your marital assignment. Okay. That's what we're talking about right now. Okay. So let's go to the Bible. I want to talk to you starting out of 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 45. Okay. And these are the words from David. David said to the Philistine, you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Listen, wives, we know that David was a man of war. We know that David was a man of war. When Samuel first went out to David, David was in the field with his sheep. Okay, he was not even in the category of king. He was not even in the category. Even Samuel, when seeing his brothers, thought surely one of them are supposed to be king. Okay, they had no idea that God was prepping, equipping, preparing, and getting David ready to be king. Okay, he had no idea. And so after Samuel had went through the whole line of going through his brothers and trying to figure out, okay, putting the oil on you, it ain't flowing. Put the oil on you, it ain't sticking. Put the oil on you, it ain't working. He went through the whole one. He looked at Jesse, was like, bro, you gotta have another son somewhere because the Lord told me to come here because he said it is a king in this house. It is a king in this house, okay? And so Jesse was like, yeah, I do got another son. He got that back there in the field with them sheep, but I don't really think he the king. And so Samuel's like, well, call him. We would not sit down until the king comes in. Okay. So David coming out there smelling like sheep and outside and all that kind of stuff. He comes in and Samuel put the oil on him and the oil flowed. Come on, Jesus. The oil flowed. The Bible say the Spirit of the Lord came upon David powerful. The Spirit of the Lord came upon David powerful. All right. God had handpicked David himself because he was out there in the field and nobody was paying attention to him, but God had his eyes on him the whole time. Okay. The Bible even tells us the outside, men look on the outside, but God looks at our heart. Why? How do you not know? How do you not know that God specifically had his eyes on you? He had his eyes on you for a specific assignment because he knew that you were going to be the one to get the job done. I want to encourage your wife on today. God has his eyes on you. Okay. He got his eyes on you and he handpicked you for the job. And so if he handpicked you for the job, that means he know that you can do it. Okay. Question number 1. How many of you wives were counted out? How many of you wives were counted out? How many were people looked at you and they prayed for your downfall? How many were people came in your view and looked at you like, how you got a husband? How you got that type of job? How you able to drive that type of car? How you able to wear those type of clothes? Or how many people counted you out, wife? How many people gave you the side eye when God handpicked you himself? Okay. The first thing I want my wife to understand as we develop this faith and as we continue to improve in the areas of your self-care, I want you to know what your value and your worth is, wife. You have to understand God himself handpicked you for the job. Just like they counted David out and David was out there in the field doing whatever he was doing, they counted David out. They had no idea that David was the chosen one. David was the chosen one. And just like David was a chosen one, wife, so are you. Okay? So are you. God handpicked you to be his wife. God handpicked you for this marital assignment, okay? He knew all your flaws. He knew what your rap sheet was. Hello. He knew your history. He knew your background. He knew what you came from. Okay, he knew all those things. God knew exactly what you were when he chose you for this position, okay? God handpicked you for this assignment. He handpicked you for this, okay? So, now, fast forward to 1 Samuel 17:45. David, he out there in the field minding his own business, and Jesse was like, David, I need you to go and check on your brothers, okay? I need you to go out there on the battlefield, see what your brothers got going on. Take them this bread, take them this cheese, and go see what is going on. I need a report on what they saying at. So David, he's like, all right, cool. I'll go out here. So David goes out there on the field trying to see, what's going on. And he see all these people, they frightened and scared. And oh my God, we got this going on. Oh my God, we got this going on. Whatever. They scared this Philistine, a giant. He's frightened all of God's people. And they running and frantic. And David was like, whoa. What's going on here? What's going on here? So David started asking people like, what's up? And so one of his brothers was looking at him like, what you doing out here? What are you doing out here? Aren't you supposed to be at the house with the sheep? Aren't you supposed to be attending to your flock? What are you doing out here? They was like, well, what I do to you? I'm coming out here doing what Dad told me to do. Dad told me to come and bring you lunch. I come out here to see what's going on. And his brother looking at you don't belong out here, bro. You don't belong out here, okay? And isn't that just like people who look at you side eye and feel like you don't belong over here, okay? You don't belong on this side. You ain't got this kind of faith. You don't got that kind of fight in you. You don't have that kind of strength in you to do this. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. So David had to X him out like, I'm gonna give you the hand. I'm gonna give you the hand. I'm gonna keep on going. So David was trying to figure out what was going on. And so word got out that Saul made an announcement and said, hey, for the person who can take out this giant, for the person who can kill this giant, I am going to reward them with my daughter, and their family do not have to pay taxes. Okay, I'm going to reward them with my daughter, and their family do not have to pay taxes. Now, of course, that sounded okay to David. He a young boy, like, okay, I can handle that. But what I'm really upset about is why all God's people out here acting scared. What I'm really upset about is why all God's people right here, being frightened by this thing. Like, y'all not even supposed to be out here acting like this, okay? David had a whole problem with the people, okay? He had a whole problem with God's people because he's saying, we God's people. We're not supposed to be scared of this thing. This ain't supposed to be scared of us, okay? And so David found his way to Saul, okay? He went to Saul and like, look, I will take this giant out. I'm going to kill this giant. And Saul did like most people do, gave him that little boy. Little boy. What you mean? So David was like, I'm here. He didn't know that God had put his spirit on the inside of him. He didn't know that David was flowing with the oil. He did not know that David was filled with the Holy Ghost fire. Come on, Jesus. He did not know what God had put on the inside of him, okay? And wives, it's so important. It is so important for you to understand that on this journey. You got to know what God has placed on the inside of you. You got to know what God has given you on the inside. You have authority and power, wife, okay, to walk over the serpent. You have authority and power, wives, to do what it is that God has called you to do. So when people give you that side eye and look you up and down like, what you doing here? You stand in that and say, I belong. Hello. I belong here. God sent me out here, okay? I ain't just show up out here on my own. God sent me here, okay? And so Saul was like, all right, if you say so, if you say you can, you can do these things or whatever, go ahead and put on my equipment, go ahead and put on my, on my gear and go out there and do what you do. Go show me what you're working with or whatever. And David was like, no, I don't need your gear. I don't need your gear. I got my own weapons. I got my own armor. I don't need your stuff, okay? Don't allow people to put things on you, wives. Don't allow people to put things on you. God has given you a specific assignment. Hello. God has given you a specific assignment. God has called you to a specific role. And listen, one of the things I want to just pull out is Jesse could have sent Jesse could have sent David out to him on the first day, on the second day, on the 10th day, on the 13th day, on the 15th day, on the 21st day. Jesse sent David to the battlefield on day 40. Okay. And the Bible talks about how the Philistines and was going back and forth with the people for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay. Now, the number 40 signifies change. The number 40 signifies change. And this is important for you to get wise. Okay. You have to understand, God has called you to this marital assignment. He has called you to this role. And a lot of wives are struggling. A lot of wives came over in 2022 helpless, feeling like defeated, feeling like, oh my God, how do I even, how am I still even here? How am I even still doing this? But what wives have to understand is there is an appointed time for when God gets ready to make changes. Okay. There is an appointed time when God brings restoration. There's a point in time that God has set aside for you, wives, for him to do what he said he is going to do concerning your marriage. So I want you to be encouraged. Keep showing up to the battlefield. Keep showing up, because you never know, this day may be the day that God do something different in your marriage. Okay. This may be the day that God say, today I'm going to move on your behalf. Today I'm going to change your husband's heart. Today I'm going to set your husband free. Today I'm going to send your husbands back home. Okay. And this is why I always encourage my wife to keep showing up, show up in your tears, show up in pain, show up feeling defeated, show up feeling helpless, show up, wives, because you never know. God has chosen you for this assignment. He has put something on the inside of you specifically for you to handle this. Okay. So Jesse sent David out on the battlefield on the day of change. Something was going to change on this day. Something was going to change on this day. So after David had told Saul that he didn't need his gear, David was like, no, I'm good. I got my own stuff. David picked up him 5 smooth rocks. He had his sling. He had his little staff, and he was ready to move forward. Okay. He was ready to move forward. Question number 2. How many times have you tried to do marriage other people way, wives? How many times have you tried to imitate what somebody else is doing in their marriage, but you didn't get the same results? How many times you tried to copy of what you see somebody else doing, but you didn't get the same results as them? Okay. How many times you have listened to something and listened to what a person has told you to do, and you still did not get those same results? Okay. I want you to understand this, wives. Your assignment is tailor-made specifically for you. Okay. Your assignment is tailor-made and is specifically for you. One of the reasons why I share biblical, content with my wife concerning marriage is because God is your source. God is the creator and the designer of marriage. And because he is the one who put together marriage, and he's the one and the author over the marriage covenant, he's going to be the only person who can help you in yours. Okay. Yes, God does use people to speak to wives. Yes, God does use different tools and different things for wives to receive. But ultimately, wives, you have to understand that God is your healer. God is your deliverer. God is going to be the one who's going to set you free when it comes down to your marriage. God is going to be the one who sends your husband back home. Okay. Don't get so caught up in what other people are doing and what worked for them. You got to get in tune with God yourself in this year, wives. Okay. It's imperative that you get in tune with God yourself. All right. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments. Okay. So David got all his gear together and got his stuff together. He started walking up towards Goliath. And Goliath was out there talking mad trash. He talking all kind of big talk. Goliath, like, who this little boy is? Who he think he is? What he think he finna get ready and do? Okay. Goliath out there talking all kinds of trash, but he did not know the fire that David possessed on the inside of him. Okay. He did not know that David was not just walking up to him slowly for no reason and coming up on him like he was. David was ready for him. David had been equipped for him. And wives, I want you to understand, 2021 may have been rough for you. 2021 may have knocked you off your feet and told you all kinds of ways. But what I want you to be encouraged and know that you have to know, just because you show up again, just because God has given you another round, just because you made a decision to keep going, You have to understand that now you have a certain type of fire, a certain type of power living on the inside of you. And God is just getting started, okay? He's just getting started. Your enemy thought he had taken you out. Your enemy thought that you had, gave up. Your enemy thought that, you ain't gonna even proceed and go forward with this. But God said differently. Come on, wives. God said differently. And God is saying, I need you, wife. I need you to slowly walk into this year possessing that power I've given you. I need you to slowly walk into this year knowing that you are equipped. I need you to walk into this new year knowing that I have given you all the tools that you need to finish this journey. I need you to know, wife, and understand that I have placed you in this 2022 year on this journey for you to proceed forward because you have all the things you need to win this battle. All right? So David walked on in towards him, and David said these words, going back to 1 Samuel 17:45. David said, you come against me, okay, with sword and spear and javelin. But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of armies of Israel, whom you have defiled. Okay. David said, I see you got all your little equipment and you've been scaring all God's people and you've been around here acting like you the man and you've been running things for 40 whole days and 40 whole nights. But guess what? You are going down today, baby boy. Okay. You are going down today. With one sling, David knocked the giant out. David knocked him out. Okay. And I feel like David had one point to prove. Okay. He had one point to prove. God will help his people. God will come for his people. God will rescue his people from their enemies. Wives, you have to know there is an expiration date on your pain. Come on, Jesus. There is an expiration date. There is an expiration date on your husband being on the outside. There is an expiration date for your marriage to continue to be down. There is an expiration date for your marriage to continue to be broken. There is an expiration date, wives, on your marriage going the way it has been going. Okay. 40 days and 40 nights. These people have been dealing with this giant. Okay. I just told you 40 signified change. God is saying, wives, your change is coming forth. All right. Stand up to your giant. Do not feel defeated. Do not feel hopeless. I told you, hold your head up and stick your chest out with it. All right. Hold your head up and stick your chest out. David said, you coming against me with all that foolery right there you got, but you got no idea what God has been doing through my pain, through my laboring, through my praying, through my fasting, through my persistence, through my endurance, through me showing up. You have no idea what God has been building in me and strengthening me to do. You have no idea what God has been working with me on this past 2021 year. You think I'm just showing up here in my own strength, but no. God has equipped me to be here. He handpicked me to be here. And wives, you got to make that decision. You got to know that God placed you here for a reason. David took the Goliath, the giant, out. Okay. He took it out. All right. Wife, this is your year. Okay. This is your year. Show up to the battlefield. All right. Show up to the battlefield. Show up to the battlefield. Doesn't matter how you feeling. Doesn't matter what you're going through. Doesn't matter what's taking place. Doesn't matter what you see. Show up to the battlefield. Okay. Show up to the battlefield. And so one of the things I want to share with you. Oh, it's upside down. I try to do like a little vision board. I do like a little mini, this is like my little mini vision board. A lot of people sleep on the vision boards, okay? But I tell wives all the time, my whole life changed when I did a vision board. I remember when me and my husband were separated. My husband and everything in my life changed off a vision board, okay? Off a vision board. Everything that I put on my vision board came to pass. And so one of the things I want to encourage wives going into this 2022 year to do is make sure that you are sketching out some time and putting that vision and what you want to see come to pass. All right. One of the questions, and some of the questions I'm going to ask you for, some of the questions that I ask my wives in my session, I start off with saying this: where are you now? Okay. Where are you now? And that's something that you, wife, need to know. Where are you now on your journey? Okay. Where does God have you now? What's going on in your marriage? What's going on in your life? What's going on in your world? Where are you now? Okay. what you got going on, what's taking place currently, with you. Where are you on your journey? That is the first place I would say wives need to start. You got to know the season that you're in concerning your marriage. You got to know where you are on your journey. Okay. Question number two. Okay. Where do you want to be? Okay. Where do you want to be? What do you want to take place this year, wife? What do you want to take place? What needs to be healed? What do you need to be delivered from? What you need to attend to? What you need to take care of, okay? Where do you want to be on this journey? What do you want your future to look like? What is next for you, okay? These are some of the questions you have to begin to ask yourself, all right? Question number three. What's holding you back from getting there? Okay, what are some of the things that you are struggling with? What are some of your stumbling blocks? What are some of the things that you are struggling with and why you can't get to that next place? What's holding you from getting out of that holding space? What's holding you and keeping you paralyzed? What's holding you and keeping you on this same cycle? What's holding you in that place? That is something you have to recognize and realize, okay? What is holding me here? What is holding me here, all right? And then the last question, how do you get to that place? How do you get to that place that God is calling you towards? How do you get to that place that God is calling you to? Okay. And a lot of wives get stuck between question number 3 and question number 4. Wives get stuck, but I want to encourage you. You can start by signing up for your Bonus Boost. Now, like I said, I come on here. I'm going to try to start coming on here. Like I said, I usually come on Thursdays, but I'm going to probably start doing Saturdays. And I'm going to pump faith. I'm going to do that. If I don't do anything else, I'm going to share with you what God's word says, because it's only God's word that is going to help you on this journey. But one of the things that God has called me to and why I coach wives is to help wives steward themselves well on this journey. Because a lot of wives give up. A lot of wives throw in the towel. A lot of wives feel defeated. A lot of wives just start to just say, I don't want to do this anymore. Bump this. Okay. And one of the things that God, I feel, has anointed me to do is to help wives to keep moving forward. Okay. To keep moving forward. And so I encourage wives to sign up for her Bonus Boost. Okay. Her Bonus Boost is a 6-week self-care, soul care curriculum that I have put together for wives who are experiencing, emotional and mental pain or abuse in a marriage. It's for the wives who are married to maybe a spouse who is absent or unavailable. It's for wives who are married to husbands who have brought on adultery and abandonment, drug abuse, alcoholism. Okay. It's for the wives who God has specifically told you, I'm going to heal your marriage. I just need you to stand still. I'm going to take care of this. I need you to follow me. I'm going to bring your husband out of this, but I need you to trust me on this season. Okay. This is where her bonus boost is about. This is what her bonus boost is about. Okay. I hold wives accountable for stewarding themselves well on their journey. I don't let you just sit there, but, oh, Coach T, my husband did this, or, oh, Coach T, my husband did that, oh, Coach T, my husband did, and we're going to get all that out, okay? One thing about Bonusy is it is a relatable source, okay? It's a relatable source. I can relate with the wives who I coach. Because Coach T walked that same walk, okay? You can be vulnerable. You can be authentic. You can be honest. And you can talk about the pain that you are going through or have went through in your marriage, but we don't stay there. We don't stay there. One of the things I help you do is to get from that broken place and help you to continue to thrive and live your best life. Yes, God has made a promise to you, wife, and he has told you that he is going to bring your marriage to fruition. He is going to bring marital restoration forward, okay? He is going to change your husband. He is going to send your husband back home. He is going to fix and restore your marriage. But He do not want you sitting there being broken down, disgusted, looking all kind of sideways until that happens, okay? What God says is, I am going to restore your marriage, wife, but you have an obligation to steward yourself well. You are still responsible for making sure that you are maintaining your self-care. That is your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. Okay, you are not going to sit here and be downcast. You are not going to sit here and be depressed. You are not going to sit here and not be doing nothing. You still have other earthly assignments that you need to attend to. And so while I do what I'm going to do in your marriage, I'm also doing something in you. While I'm going to do what I'm going to do in your husband, I'm also working something out in you. Yes, I'm going to restore your marriage. Yes, I'm going to deliver your husband, but I'm going to also heal you too. Okay, I'm going to also do a work in you too. All right. And so if you do not know, wives, where to start on this journey, I want to encourage you to start with her bonus boost. Okay, I want to encourage you to start with her bonus boost. You can sign up for that at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, I give my wives a 20-minute free consultation. I give you a free 20-minute free consultation just so you can see if her bonus boost is for you. All right, I come over here weekly and I share all this content with you because I want you to hear my heart concerning this. I have a passion for wives who are in positions like this because I know what that feels like. I know what that is. I know that type of pain. I can hear a wife's voice and listen to her story, and I can know exactly where she is on her journey just from what she is telling me, okay? I want to encourage you, wives, to sign up today, all right? I want to encourage you to sign up today. Do not go into this new year doing the same thing that you did last year and you don't get the necessary help that you need, all right? Her bonus boost is going to help you. It's going to help you, all right? So I'm looking forward to what God is going to do. I want to encourage you to sign up for your Her Bonus Boost today, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, make sure that you are doing something for yourself today, wives. Make sure that you are prioritizing yourself. Make sure that you are taking care of yourselves on today, all right? I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.